and for honoring and remembering my father. To most of you, my father was a Tuskegee Airman, a co-worker, a friend, and a neighbor. It was his honor to tell the story of his experiences as a Tuskegee Airman, and I firmly believe that his travels in behalf of the Tuskegee Airmen prolonged his life. He enjoyed it so much. He could tell his adventures with heart and emotion, and would bring his audience along for the ride. I had seen small children and grown men and women sitting and listening to his every word with complete awe and rapt attention. I think my dad's got God in a corner in heaven right now, telling him about his exploits. And God is shaking his head, saying, I know, Woody, I know. But I had the experience and the privilege of calling him my father. His family loved him and will miss him. We were all touched by his warmth and his humor and his love. We will remember him with love and honor, as I hope all of you will also. God bless you all, and long live the Tuskegee Airmen.
Thank you, Steve. Captain Williams? Les Williams?
My name is Les Williams. I'm a Tuskegee Airman, and I'm here to pay my respects to a real man named Woody Spears. I didn't know him when he was a cadet in Tuskegee. I had already graduated when he started his program, and I moved on to Selfridge Field. But had I known him, I would have been in the presence of the epitome of the Tuskegee Airmen. He was, as were all the Tuskegee Airmen, very eager to learn and to qualify to fly planes in service of their country. He was exceptionally impatient, as most of them were, to get into the cockpit of this sophisticated P-51 and fight for his country. I also learned that he was very studious about his approach, regardless of his personality, which was quite radiant. But he made himself knowledgeable as to the characteristics of this sophisticated aircraft. And he also learned the combat limitations that this P-51 had. And this was to his advantage, and of course it helped him to stay alive. I learned all this after I met him, after he became a lieutenant and held the same rank that I had, and we crossed paths many times. But I learned that he was, besides his natural sense of humor, he was a very conscientious pilot and serviceman. I learned most of my facts about Woody from him by listening to his many riveting stories about his experiences. And and listening to his many speeches that were always laced with humor. And so I relish this opportunity to publicly state that he was a great man, he was a kind man, he was a helpful person, and we will miss him. And I'm saying this on behalf of all the Tuskegee Airmen that are in this room, on behalf of this room. And I'm thankful that I've had a chance to describe him to my limitations. Thank you.
Thank you, Capt Woodie. Next, we'll have Dennis Mills. He's the Tuskegee Airmen's National Vice President. Dennis.
Thank you, David. I had the distinct privilege and honor of knowing Captain Woodie Spears. I stayed on the Air Corps for a period of 12 years, and of course during that time I got to know him quite well. And I have a lot of Woodie stories, but I'm just going to share one today. You know, Woodie, of course, was one of the Tuskegee Airmen who on March 29th of 2007 was in the nation's capital and was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal by President Bush. And I was there with him to share that moment with him. That meant a lot to him, as it did to all of the Tuskegee Airmen. And I was well positioned in leading into the Capitol Rotunda, because every Tuskegee Airman had to file past me to get in to receive the award, be seated by the President. And I looked in their eyes, I saw their eyes that day. And they were in their 80s, but not their eyes. No, actually their eyes were in their 20s. Back in the days, I think, of when they were going through their flight training and their exploits, you know, in the skies above Europe. But that meant a lot to Woodie, and he took it in his usual Woodie fashion, you know, very enthusiastically and very happy to be honored, and all of them to be honored to be recognized that way. So it was nice to be there. So I'll always remember that, and I'll always remember also the fact, the time that we flew up to Pine Mountain Lake, so that Woodie, he was a speaker. Pine Mountain Lake has an association up there where folks own the airport, they live around the airport, they have homes right there at the airport, and they have an association. And what they do is they invite distinguished speakers from the aviation community. And back a few years ago, Woodie was invited, I think twice. Is that right, Phil? Twice? And they have astronauts, they have test pilots, they have fighter pilots, they have FAA folks, they have just about a who's who of combat veterans, everything. And they invited Woodie up there that day. So I flew up there with Woodie. I rented a plane, and we went up there to Pine Mountain Lake. And during the course of the